BRB UK. Worse teeth, better accents.
Hello, and indeed, ahoy hoy, and welcome to episode 525 of BRB UK, and I've just gobbed all over my monitor.
Nice.
Lovely. I'm Dan, one of your hosts. Hi, how you doing? Happy New Year, because, you know, I think you all worked out that we might have recorded shows up until this one a little bit before Christmas and New Year. So we're not bad time traveling podcast hosts. We're just, well, we felt a bit lazy. So we're starting getting used to podcasting again. But on that note, it's okay because Coleman's here.
Hi.
But, oh no, terrible news. Your soundboard has gone.
I mean,
Oh no.
yeah.
How will I ever get over this?
I mean, we have a soundboard. We just don't have any of our sounds. We have we have a screaming goat that Dan's kindly provided, but all the sounds are being
Best Christmas
replaced with
present.
stock sounds. So we have cheering.
Right.
It's pretty good.
Hi.
I mean, that's
Hi, how you
okay.
doing?
You like
Drum roll.
that? Oh. Proper drum roll and everything.
Clapping.
Right, can I have the drum roll again?
Oh, I know what's coming. Pretty good.
You know, it's very depressing that this actually ranks, this goat, ladies and gentlemen, if you can't see it, there's a little miniature goat. This actually ranks among some of the best Christmas presents I've ever had. Just something so gloriously odd about it. Anyway.
Yes.
How was your Christmas and New Year, chaps?
Pretty good. Yeah, I don't think you've introduced Tim yet.
Uh-huh.
No.
Oh, yeah, there's Tim over there, because I
I'm
knew you'd
here.
probably speak to Tim. Hi. How
Hi.
you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, all right. All right. We're just about to
Hi.
get into Christmas and
I
New
hope you haven't
Year's
been
chat, but yeah.
shenanigans. Well, I was going to ask, because you guys had a bit of a BRB UK derby insofar as Tottenham squaring off against Portsmouth. I hope you haven't lorded it over him too much. But most important question, did Harry Kane actually manage to score a penalty?
No, but he did score the winning goal, so, you know, that'll do me.
Oh, did he? All right.
We
enough.
also had some shenanigans with tickets.
It's easy to score
as well.
the winning goal when there's one goal.
And
Well,
it's
yeah.
Portsmouth.
Oi! Hey, we did well. I don't know what the hell happened
Yeah.
against Bolton the other day, but we did well against Tottenham for the most part.
Yeah, held
Otherwise,
your
I don't
own.
want
You
to
did
talk
not
about it.
embarrass yourselves. But yeah, but we did have shenanigans. We were supposed to go to the game, and I had trouble getting
Right.
tickets. A friend of mine who's a member who should get more access to tickets had trouble getting tickets.
Don't talk to him. That's very mean talking about him like that.
And then Coleman bought tickets from not the club, and I warned him that
Right.
might be fraught with difficulties and fakes. And
And this is a slightly different version of the story that I've heard.
okay, well, Coleman was nice enough to try and buy tickets, but yeah.
Yeah. He did warn me that there's a lot of scalpers out there, and I said, well, I'll use a reputable site ticket reseller like StubHub, and thought, I could probably be okay because they're insured and they're on credit card anyway and all that kind of stuff. Turned out not only did I get sent fake tickets, but it's highly illegal in the UK to resell football tickets. And that caused a big stink up, and I got a letter from Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah.
Did you? Go,
Yeah.
you naughty, naughty boy.
Yeah. I did get a refund, though, and it's all sorted out.
So that was good at least. And then we watched the match at my house. So, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, so not quite the rock and roll experience you're hoping for then.
No, but there were more video
No
games
offense, you flapped him.
involved,
It's very
so,
lovely.
You know.
Oh, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. Yeah, and I got
It's
to
probably not a bad thing, to be fair.
I got to see Tim's flat for the first time since he's done any work on it, and it was very nice. Very impressive.
And did
kitchen.
you treat yourself to a kebab or any other form of fried meat goodness to just really kind of bring home the match? Or a pie? Did you have a pie?
We should have had a really
Chinese
bad
one I got.
quality hamburger.
Oh, we had two. We had a vegan flapjack each.
Ooh,
yeah,
yummy.
We did.
I forgot about that.
Wow.
Not your typical
There you go.
football.
That's
Wow.
our
but
exciting
yeah.
rock and roll football story. But yeah. How was everyone's Christmas?
Wow.
Yeah.
It was pretty good, actually.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I have to say it's pretty good. Well, but mostly just kind of, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't exactly exciting for many people, I would imagine. But lots of time, friends and family catching up. I managed to come down with this thing that wasn't COVID
Yeah.
right at the beginning. So that kind of poleaxed me
Ooh.
for the first week and a half, but I kind of surfaced circa.
Was it that one with the really
Christmas
bad
Eve,
cough
just in time?
that coughed you awake at night, so it made you more ill because you weren't sleeping? That one that everyone seemed to have.
Yeah, pretty much that. Yeah, and it timed itself perfect. It was like, oh, I see you're finishing work for the holidays. Why not? Now's a perfect time for you to just feel like absolute arse and waste days of your life.
I got mine
But
in
anyway,
during,
apart from that,
I got mine in during the last week of work, so that made last week of work where I was really busy really bad. But then I was well again just in time for Christmas, and then my missus got ill with the same thing and was really ill on Christmas Day. So that was a bit of a shame. But yeah, otherwise Christmas and New Year's was low key and didn't see many people because my other half was ill and stuff. But yeah, but
Mine
it was
was
nice.
Thor.
I played lots of video games, or I played lots of one video game. But
excellent, very good. What did you get up to, Coleman? You're off in Tenerife, I understand.
Well, I also got that annoying cold a week before my holiday, but then I went off to Tenerife with the symptoms gone, but the chest still bad. So I had a crackly coffee chest the whole time in the beautiful sunshine and blue waters and clear skies, watching dolphins while I'm going. So that was fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Spent a week in Tenerife, came back, went to the even more sunnier Gosport for Christmas, went to a pub crawl with my old man. That was fun.
As you do.
Came back, belated
Happy
Christmas. With the missus, and then back to work.
Excellent. I also engaged in the now annual traditional pastime of accidentally peeling my thumb along with the vegetables as well.
Oh,
I hate
That's
that.
always a joy that I look forward to.
Yeah.
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 Especially when it's parsnips. You're never quite sure whether the bit that's floating about is parsnip or your finger.
Yeah, I've got a
Yeah,
weird scar
me
on
too.
the top of my thumb where I took it off of a mandolin once. Not the instrument, the slicing thing.
Yes. We sent.
Well, I know, but that's a story I'd like to hear more of if it actually was like the instrument, the mandolin. You just extreme mandolin playing.
Yeah.
Try and do
With
some
razor wire.
shredding some mad tunes on a mandolin. That's what the kids say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
Sick.
Video games.
Cool. Let's do
Video games. You want to talk about video
Yeah,
games?
we should probably
Because it's
do
been
that.
a while since we talked about
been a
video games.
while.
Yeah, it has been. I mean, I just kind of dipped in and out of things I've been meaning to finish. I've still haven't been dipping in and out mainly of Horizon Zero Dawn,
Ooh.
which I still haven't finished. Actually, I still haven't finished it. I'm
Long.
liking the narrative more. It is flipping long, that game. It still feels a bit clunky, but I'm kind of still enjoying it. It's not the narrative's better than the game, I have to say. I'm glad I only got it for 25 quid, put it that way.
Yeah. That sort of price is okay.
But compared to having just perhaps coming off of the truly wonderful God of War, I realise God of War is obviously not a running shooty game, but it's kind of open world action adventure. But yeah, I think anything in that vague genre compared to God of War, Ragnarok is just going to be not quite feel as polished, but I am enjoying it. Lots of twitchy heads I've noticed in lots of the cinema. I don't know about that. Everyone's going like, and not making eye contact with one another, which is really bothering me.
I think that stuff's definitely improved when it comes to Forbidden West, but because I was thinking,
sorry, Forbidden West is what I meant to talk about, not Zero Dawn.
Oh, I thought you were doing
The two are in.
You messaged me Zero Dawn.
I thought you'd gone back to Zero Dawn.
Did I?
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the
I've
PC version.
I was doing Forbidden West. Sorry.
Oh, let's change that.
I always get those names
Let's change
confused
that.
the wrong way round, or just generally forget them. Horizon something.
Zero Dawn
Forbidden West.
is the
Yeah.
first
Zero
one.
Dawn's the first
Forbidden
one.
West is the second
Forbidden
one.
West, second one.
Yeah. Because I thought I best get back to that because I stopped just before Elden Ring came out, as is the fashion. And over Christmas break, thought, I can sit down and beat that game finally because I need to get through that. And I got a fair way through it before. And then as I loaded in, trying to remember why I stopped playing it, and it's because there's a point where I have to talk to someone to kick off a mission and it won't activate. So I need to start again.
Oh, God, so your save soft-locked
Yeah.
on it, basically.
And I went back in thinking,
Ooh.
that's the you think that would have patched out by now, but no, need to start again. That's quite annoying.
Does it feel a fairly late game conversation where you feel you're about to embark on a point of no return?
Let's put it, I had the big boss fight to get to the new big area, and
okay.
somewhere after that it happened.
Okay.
So I'm not
I
anywhere
think I
near
know where
finishing the game, but it's a fair whack through.
Yeah, too much to want to start again.
But otherwise,
and do the first bit again.
It's a very pretty game otherwise.
It is. But again, I can't play it at the 30 frames per second mode. I have to do it on 60.
Same.
30 makes me feel ill. Makes me a grumpy man. I know, I've been enjoying that. Gran Turismo 7, I've been dipping my toes in the water a bit of as well, because I hear they have dialed back the slightly silly microtransactions. Can confirm they have.
Good.
A lot of the game design decisions, though, continue to baffle me. Just because it's like, why am I speaking to a strange man in a cafe, and why does he want me to launder money by going out and buying a bunch of cars for him? I don't understand.
Why is this random
don't
dude
understand,
in this
damn
cafe
it.
an expert on Japanese cars from the 1960s all of a sudden?
No, 1990s.
Okay.
Get your facts right. He's just there, sitting there in his suspiciously stained overcoat, offering me sweeties occasionally. Don't speak to strange men in cafes, kids.
No, it's not a good idea.
Next thing you know, playing Gran Turismo 7. But it's good fun. I'm quite glad since I beat one of John Brady's times on the weekly hot lap. So that made me feel a little bit better about myself.
I started getting notifications on PlayStation about John Brady's lap times and things. I don't own Gran Turismo 7, and I'm very confused by this.
He's just showing off. He's just wanting to show off. Okay, I drove a car in a really big circle. I don't know what's going on with the accent.
But it doesn't do it to
This
you.
accent's got to
It
be
doesn't do it
wrong.
with
He doesn't
Tim.
sound anything like this.
It just does it
What?
with John
No.
for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh,
Is
maybe
it something
he just
doing?
likes. Probably.
He is your gaming nemesis,
just,
perhaps.
one that
They've
he's-
sensed this.
Yeah, exactly. But perhaps he knows that he only stood up for a minute and there you were in his podcasting chair, never to give it back to him. Perhaps this is all kind of wanting to assert his dominance over you.
I'm sure he's crying into his successful newspapers that he writes for.
Ah, yes, the Lanarkshire Herald.
I did see John shortly before Christmas.
To be honest, I
He
think
did
John
say-
is. To be
say
fair, John
hello
is
to
quite
everyone, so-
successful.
Yeah.
So there we go. So I'm playing a bit of that. And what else have I been doing? I've been tinkering around with Valheim to the
Valheim.
degree that if you go on our Discord plug, and you go over to the Valheim group of channels, if you have a look in Textheim, because that's where text messages go, and Valheim, do you like what I did there?
Good.
You can find the details of our dedicated server,
Ooh.
where you too can
band.
How
try and build
dedicated?
massive wooden phalli. Very dedicated.
Oh.
Pretty dedicated.
It's very dedicated.
This has inspired me to reinstall Valheim onto my Steam Deck
Excellent.
and give this a go.
It doesn't connect on Steam Deck for some reason.
Oh, all right.
I don't know what I couldn't connect. That's a known bug since they enabled crossplay.
Right.
If you try and connect to a crossplay enabled server, for some reason it doesn't work on Steam Deck. Doesn't work on mine.
Okay. Wait, is it on console as well?
It's on Xbox Game Pass for PC.
Oh. Okay. I will install that on my laptop and try again then.
Excellent.
Mm.
Excellent. But yes, you can go to our Discord and find out how to build embarrassing wooden appendages
Nice.
near other people's homes.
That's all you
which
do
is
in
nice.
these type of games, isn't it? Just find a way to build.
It is. To be fair, I
massive
haven't done it
dongs.
yet. I haven't done it. Yeah, I haven't done it yet, but I probably ought to put down some charms around my house to stop people doing that in my gaff in Valheim.
Okay.
To be fair, because someone's already put a big dragon head in my bed in Valheim,
Okay.
and renamed one of my storage crates dildos for
Nice.
some reason.
Nice.
I don't know.
That's where you keep them.
Classy. It is where I keep them, right next to the fire, so they're toasty and warm. You
No
don't,
one
you don't
likes
want
a
to be
cold
going in
dildo.
cold, do you? No one wants a cold dildo.
Oh dear.
Anyway, so yeah, that's what I'm up to. But the other thing I played, we've all played, so I'll save that for a little wee bit later.
Yes, we're going to talk through our quick ones first, I guess.
Yes.
I've only got one quick one then. Other than tinkering around with the Steam Deck and adding all the different streaming sites and stuff onto it, and adding
How was your Massive Deek?
Massive Deek is great. I'm using it way more now. This last week.
Isn't it? It's such a great bit of kit.
It is.
I love my Steam Deek.
It's really good, and I've added the special startup video that does the little Frasier intro and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty good.
Wow, you are elite hacker.
Yes, I've mainly been using it because of the update for Witcher 3 has added crossplay between the PlayStation 5 and the PC, which it didn't have before.
Oh, nice.
And with some special tinkering on Cyberpunk as well, I now have Cyberpunk and The Witcher 3 that I can play at home on the PS5 and then take out on the go on the Steam Deck with a cloud save, which is really cool. And
Nice.
I've got both playing very well on. I mean, the Witcher 3 had a Steam Deck verification anyway, but Cyberpunk took some tinkering around, but now it plays beautifully on Steam Deck and doesn't look like
Nice.
But something I've been tinkering around with that isn't verified for Steam Deck is Gotham Knights.
I really thought something I'd be tinkering about with that isn't my ass.
Gotham Knights, I've given that another crack.
I've gone 2 steps north and played about with my taint.
It's
That's what I've done.
had numerous updates. I was thinking about this on the way home because when the Arkham games come out, people seem to be talking about those games for a long time and analyzing the stories and stuff.
Right.
Not so much with Origins, but the 3 mainline Rocksteady games. And then Gotham Knights comes out, and I'm thinking, I only know about the introduction of this game through people talking about that, but no one's. If you remember the build up to this game, people were talking. There was stuff about the Court of Owls and all this kind of thing. No one's spoken about any of that because everyone's dropped off of it super quick. And now it's been updated. I got it running on the Steam Deck, which for the most part works and is serviceable enough to be taken out on the go.
Right.
But there's certain things you can't do in that game on the Steam Deck. There's like a motorcycle section for you to play, and as soon as you do that, it kills the game quite horrifically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I did cause...
Like just terrible frame rate, or it crashes?
It's frame rate, audio lag, and just looking like general arse. And at one point,
all the fun affair.
I overheated the Steam Deck playing it.
Nice. Yeah, actually did it shut down and go, I've had enough, mate.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm done.
So if you're not going to take this seriously, I'm not going to bother. So I'll need to continue this on the home PC, I think. But it's... Yeah, I need to play through that just because I am interested in the story, and I'm not one to just go and look up all the cutscenes on YouTube. But it seems to be playing better than it was when it first launched. Right. Not on the consoles though. I really think they should try and look at some kind of way of doing a 60 FPS patch for the consoles because I really want to play this game, but I never go and play it on my actual PC. So.
Hey, and indeed ho.
Everything else is big games for us to talk about. So, Tim, you can do your little throwaway ones as well.
Yeah, I'll rattle through a few here quickly. The main game that I played over Christmas, the one that I've put the most hours to, and I haven't checked how many, but I would be surprised if it's any less than 50 or 60 hours I've got in this game now, is Marvel's Midnight Suns. I'm glad I put that in my Game of the Year picks because it did end up like... It's still got the problems that I listed with it before. Like the whole side outside of combat just takes way too long. None of it's terrible, but there's just too much of it. I wish they streamlined that, and I wish it was all a bit quicker and stuff. But it all adds up to a really good game. I love the combat in that. The actual feedback they give you in combat and stuff as well is something I haven't really mentioned before. But like when you're moving around the environment, it really does a good job of telling you, right, from this position, you're going to be able to kick that at this person or pull that pole into, and like really like, because there's good environmental damage stuff in that as well, but it gives you like really good feedback when you're moving around as to like what you'll be able to do. The cards work really well. The combat has got better and better as the game's gone on, and the synergy between heroes is really good as well. Like you actually get team up moves, and it kind of randomly puts together like 2 different heroes. And it's not much more than just like a flashy background type thing with the 2 heroes doing different moves, and it kind of just cobbles the 2 of them together depending on which hero it is. But it works quite well and it looks quite good. And there's other games where we've had other heroes where... I'm trying to remember, what was the one on Switch that was a more of a sort of multiplayer basher type thing? I can't remember what it was called. I swear it was the 3rd game in a series.
Oh,
it was like the old X-Men Legends one. Marvel Alliance, yeah, and that didn't have team up moves, and I thought that was a bad point to that. So I hadn't particularly mentioned the fact that there were team up moves in Midnight Suns, and they work really well. And as I said, yeah, combat's great, continues to be a great game. I have put most of my hours in Christmas into that to the point where I've played about about another half hour to an hour of God of War. I really need to like put Midnight Suns down so I can actually finish God of War. But I did try a few other things as well. I think they just come out when we were recording the previous. I tried the new courses for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The particularly noteworthy thing there with the 4 new courses where one of them was a London course, which was nice to see, and that's a really good course, really good fun. Actually, all the ones that have come out of the World Circuit courses as they've been ported across to Mario Kart 8, I really like them. They're really good. Like they all have a similar thing where they're different on the different laps you go around. The actual route that you take changes, and I quite like that. I think it works quite well. There's a Berlin course and a couple of other retro courses as well to make up the 4. But yeah, they're all good fun. Got me playing Mario Kart 8 again, and I'm still looking forward to the other courses on that. That's been good. I did also try the Street Fighter.
Remind me the price of admission for that, Tim?
I can't remember. It was something like £20 or so, maybe a bit over £20
I think it's 30. If you go on like CD keys and stuff, you can knock a $5 off that.
Yeah, I think there was a pre-order.
What they call it, a Nintendo
bonus.
Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a Nintendo Online membership subscriber ultimate thing that gets you the N64 games, then it's free with that.
Alrighty.
But yeah, like they've all been really good so
know.
far. They've got me playing the game again and picking up the game. But I think there's 6 sets in. It was 6 sets in total, I think, and we've had 3 now, and so there's another 3 to come. But they've all been good so far. So yeah, that's been good. The other thing I played around with, I got onto the Street Fighter 6 beta, which I believe I can talk about.
Oh, look at you and your big old ding dong.
That was. And I knew what I was getting into. I knew that it was more likely to be solely multiplayer content. And I also knew that most of the people getting into the beta would be considerably better at the game than I. That proved to be the case, which didn't make for the most enjoyable thing. But also, it's got this weird setup where you sit down at like an arcade machine. I quite like it in principle, but in practice, it worked out a bit weirdly. You sit down at an arcade machine, you pick your character, and then you wait for another human being to walk up to that arcade machine and challenge you. But then what would happen is I'd pick a particular character that I wanted to play as, and then someone would come along and go, "This character's really good at kicking that character's ass." And it'd be like, okay, I guess.
So everyone was like kind of waiting around for the other person to pick first? Is that what it was?
Well, I think the whole PlayStation home vibe thing where you go into a cabinet, I don't think you're actually waiting for someone to sit down on that specific cabinet. I think by sitting at a cabinet, it puts you into a waiting room.
Yes. But then they get to see the character that you are and get to pick a character based on who, like, with that information in hand, and that gives them a slight unfair advantage, I think, basically.
So this might be some kind of turkey tryptophan-induced fever dream I had over the holidays. But have I got vague memories of there being like other entries in the Street Fighter catalogue also are going to be available in that arcade?
Yes, there's a little arcade mode, and there's different versions of there's different.
That's quite cool.
I think there was Super Street Fighter 2 when I was playing it.
I think there's Final Fighting that's going to be in there as well.
Ooh, nice.
That's cool. You see, that's quite cool. That is quite cool. It's a bit like a Capcom. Remember Microsoft's Game Room? Remember that?
Yeah.
It's a bit like that, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the cool thing. You can go and play with other people online. You can play Street Fighter 6 while you're in the lobby, and then go, do you know what? Let's go play a little bit of Street Fighter 2 over in the corner there, and the multiplayer works for that as well. So it's nice.
But yeah, I did end up not playing as much of that as I had the opportunity to do so, just because I wasn't enjoying it as much. But I think that's mainly because it forced me into playing the bit of the game that I'm less likely to play when it comes out. So soured me on it a little bit, but at the same time, I'm still really looking forward to the final release of the actual game and actually getting to play the single player content, which makes up a much larger portion of the game. And the actual fighting mechanics and the way things work, I think I'm going to get on with it. I want to get some more practice and get sort of better at it and not have my asses kicked by people online that are much better than me. So, yeah. But I think if it gives me the opportunity to play through that single player content and get good at the game, then I'll have a better time playing the online portion of it as well eventually. So, turn me off a little bit, but at the same time, I'm still not turned off the game entirely, basically.
with the beta thing that I was playing, although there's no instruction on how to do it, there is an option to go stop challenging players and let me play against the CPU for a bit.
Okay, I see.
That's kind of how I
didn't find that
managed to get
option. I don't know if that was available and I didn't find it.
Yeah. I found it by complete accident, but after a while going, I've been beaten by Ken 30 times in a row. I'd like to try and play someone else. It did actually let me and pick my opponents and stuff, so that was cool.
So because one of the big challenges with kind of online fighting games is always the net code and syncing the two players. I mean, what was your experience like? Was it pretty good by and large? You didn't feel too cheated out of it?
Yeah, the actual technical aspects of it and the actual fighting side of things, I didn't experience any hiccups with that at all, which for a beta I think was, that side of things was impressive. Just, getting my ass kicked again and again just wasn't that fun. I mean, it got to the point often where I was like having, I wasn't embarrassing myself. I was having reasonable back and forth, but I just wasn't winning most occasions, basically. But yeah, as I said, still looking forward to the final release of the game. But I was going into the beta knowing that I was probably only going to be playing the portion of the game that I liked the least, basically. So
in the full game, there's a whole kind of create your own character kind of thing as well, and you get trained up by that looks like it could be quite good fun.
It's such a basic character creator, though. I was really annoyed by that.
Think of all the wonderful microtransactions they're going to sell you.
Yes. Would you like a new pair of trousers? £8.
The idea is you can win tournaments and items and things and add them to your character, and you unlock stuff in the story mode and all that kind of stuff. But, as someone who loves playing the WWE games, I love a creative character mode, and I love playing around with those. So it's really upsetting to me when I start playing something and go, oh, this isn't very good. And where's the bald characters?
Talking of the wrestling, wasn't WWE 2K on PS Plus over the holidays?
Yes, it's just come out on PS Plus.
Was it?
Yes. Is
22
like the good one?
Is that on base? Yeah, the new one.
22K 2.
22 is the okay one, though, yes? Even though,
Yeah, the good one.
Yeah,
but is that
good? Because I've downloaded
basic,
that.
Or is that in the
I think it was in PlayStation Plus this month, no?
I think it's, just a straight up Plus game.
What, in the free games? I don't think it is.
I thought it was. I could be wrong. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was, this month was Axiom Verge 2.
Yes, that's right. You're talking out your ass. Fallout 76 and Jedi Fallen Order.
And Jedi Fallen, because Jedi Fallen Order was the other thing I downloaded, because PS5 version of that. I might play some of that before the new one comes out.
Yeah, that could be quite
So
sweet.
I got that downloading, and I got 2K22 or whatever is downloading so that we can wrestle at some point, Mr. Coleman.
Yes.
But yes,
I want to wrestle.
Yes. We should do some three-way...
Who can we triple team?
Well, no. Well, yeah, it's either the three of us versus other people, or Coleman in a handicap match against the two of us.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. And then let's take on the Barrelcast again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Am I going to have to recreate the almighty Trump supporter?
No, I've already made you a Dan. I'll just upload him online.
That's worrying that you can upload me. I'm not in a bloody Matrix.
You've
Jesus
already
Christ.
seen the models of both you and me that he made.
Why is this probe up my ass?
There's a lot of talk of the Matrix online.
That's
lately.
not where it plugged in the movies.
Maybe let's not jump into that.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with that.
Why is the
Matrix is attacking
the Matrix
me.
Is real,
well done for not understanding
arseholes.
the Matrix. Yep.
Yeah. Right. Let me do a.
Right.
I've got a review game. And it's
You got a review game?
I got sent a game to play about a week before we started. As we just finished recording all our end of show episodes, so I'd have to go. That's very kind. Thank you. I can't talk about this for a month, but thank you.
No.
Still graciously given. Yes, so Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. And I was very excited for this because I am a huge fan of Final Fantasy VII. I've played the original game many times over, and I really, really enjoyed the Final Fantasy VII remake on PS4, PS5, and PC. And with the idea of the Crisis Core remake, which was a PlayStation Portable game, I've never played Crisis Core, so I don't know the extended story outside of Final Fantasy VII. So I was really looking forward to playing this. And what I got from the preview stuff, having never played the game, I thought this was basically Final Fantasy Remake, but with the story of Crisis Core. And it is not. It is basically the most beautiful looking port of a PSP game you've ever seen.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's all done in Unreal, new textures and effects and redone menus and things, but essentially the gameplay is the same, but with improved character animations and load times and stuff.
But can you still play in glorious 240p? That's what I want to know.
No, you can play in 4K, but this is the only problem I have with it. There are cutscenes that are taken directly from the original game. So, because when I was playing, I was going, this looks really badly compressed. And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, it's the original cutscene. It's just been, I assume they've done some stuff to kind of upscale it a little bit, but it doesn't look horrible. The
Sounds
cutscenes,
like someone lost the backups.
Well, no, I mean, there might be the originals that have been, they haven't been shrunk down for PSP, what I'm assuming. But if that was the original cutscene for the PSP, it's very impressive. They still look really good. I did not realize that they.
Are you sure it's not pre-rendered?
They are pre-rendered,
because they did,
but they look amazing.
Because they did that a couple times, like load in the game assets, but just put it through a proper 3D renderer.
Maybe, but yeah, looks really, really good. But the game itself, so this is a different experience because it was designed for a handheld that I'm used to with the Final Fantasy games. You're playing the character of Zack, who, for story reasons, is very similar to Cloud, the main character from Final Fantasy VII, which I won't spoil why, because you may not have played Final Fantasy VII and have that on your to-do list.
Right.
But also, this character is introduced in Remake as well in a different way than you're used to, so it's important to know all this side stuff as well for the newer game. Because they're going to mix stuff into that. Even with the DLC expansion Yuffie thing, they added some stuff from Dirge of Cerberus in there. So I'm hoping that's going to be on the remake pile at some point as well. But this one, the idea is you're playing as the character of Zack. It's a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. Right. You are fighting for Soldier for the Shinra Corporation, fighting alongside Sephiroth, and going off to take down some baddies. And the way this works is you get a little open world kind of area or a smaller open environment to explore. You go around, you pick up missions, and then if you're following the story, you'll go speak to someone, kick off a mission, follow a story and kind of stuff with that, and then go off and do different battles until you progress to a boss, and then that chapter's over, you carry on going. However, if you go to a save point at any point in the game, you can kick off side missions, which you accrue through speaking to people in the little open world areas, and they might, you might find someone's like, oh, I'm looking for new types of materia, and that will stick you in a side mission progression path of doing different battles and looking for items within those side games. And
I have a question.
Yes.
Were they male or female?
Well, what?
The materia person.
Are you going with a material girl?
Knows where I'm going with this.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Can I hold on.
Sorry, I think I've got a more appropriate one. Thank you.
Right on time there, Coleman. Bang up.
Yeah, the stock sounds are very slow for some reason. Anyway, where was I with that?
Anyway,
so
carry on. Sorry.
I have a more sensible question if I can jump in while you're already derailed.
If you're asking him if he lives in the material world, Tim, you can shut up.
No. No, what's the actual combat like? Like, why is this different? Why is Crisis Core different to Final Fantasy? Like, is it still turn-based? Like, how does the actual combat work in this game?
It's very, I mean, it looks like Final Fantasy Remake took from Crisis Core rather than the other way around, because it's kind of it's that similar thing of a third person, feels like a hack and slash, but you're waiting for certain bars to fill up and then set off different moves and things. In this case, it's you have a physical attack, and then you have a special attack bar and a magic power bar. So you can cast spells and you can do special attacks and stuff. And then when that goes down, you can take items to replenish those or use different abilities to bring them up. And all the time you're fighting, there's like a little slot machine type 3 pictures cycling in the corner randomly. And when they match up to something, if it's like 2 Sephiroths and an Aerith head, then all of a sudden it will go, hey, you've got unlimited magic power for the next 30 seconds. So you can constantly keep spamming fireballs or whatever you want to do. So it's things like that. But then when you get something fully matched, they go, oh, you've got 3 Cloud Strife heads. And they'll go, now you can do your limit break. And rather than do the limit break in the battle, it will warp to like a little a second screen and then show you a video of the limit break happening. And apparently that was something that people hated in the PSP version, because every time that happened, it would go into a little loading screen, wait for the UMD to finish spinning, do the little animation, wait for the UMD, and then back. This time it's instantaneous, so it works really, really well. And it's apparently something that's been massively
you, Super Sexy Drive.
Yeah, something that's been massively improved over the original game. And also there's summons that you can pick up as well. And when you find the summons, similar thing will happen. Suddenly the little slot machine thing will go summon mode, and it will go purple, and then you'll get like 3 Ifrits or Chocobo or something, and then you're going to click the 2 sticks in, and then you'll get to see the summon move, and the summon moves are always really cool as well.
Yeah,
that stuff's really enjoyable. What I'm finding is I've put a lot of time into this game. I think I'm at 20 hours now, but I was finding that I hit like 13 hours and I was only on chapter 2 of the game, because I've been doing all of the side missions. And
well, there's your problem.
Yeah, and now I finished doing all the side. There's still some side missions to discover, but as I'm doing all the side missions and I've run out of ones to do, it's like, right, I'd better carry on with the story. And now the story's super easy because my characters are like level 13. So I've been I've been juicing them a bit on side missions before getting back to the story.
Yeah,
but I'm finding it really enjoyable. It's a very good looking game. I think we need to talk about, when we come to like our games of the year, I think we need to, end our picks at November and then cycle December over into the following year, because then it'll give us time to play, all the games and have time to play them and stuff. But also, this game came out just after we finished doing our game of the year talks. So I probably would have put this on my list, I think, had I been playing at that point, because this is a very enjoyable game. I probably would have knocked something out for that. But yeah, this is the first game I got to play for 2023, and because I was still polishing a High on Life on New Year's Eve. So as soon as I went into this, I was like, yes, I'm very much enjoying this.
I would like to, well, we'll probably talk about it because both you guys have played that. I haven't started playing High on Life yet.
Okay.
Is it worth we could talk about whether it's worth my time, but finish your thing.
Tim's going to do his opinions because I think they're more negative than mine.
All right, Tim, do it.
I'm not entirely high on Life, but I kind of knew what I was getting going in.
Talk to me about
the bits that I thought I was going to like. I really do like the humor, the presentation, the style. I think it looks good.
Lovely.
Well, no, right. It looks good in screenshots. Some of it I don't think looks great in animation and the animation of the enemies and that type of stuff. My bigger problem with it is I find the combat a little bit dull, like the general combat. Like, it's just not... I don't know if I just haven't opened up more weaponry yet. But then also, I find the boss battles incredibly dull. Like, we saw the first boss battle in, like, previews, and I was like, I don't like the look of that. Like, you're swinging around with your knifey thing to keep yourself off the ground.
Your knifey thing?
Yeah, and then just waiting for your... Yeah, waiting for your glob shot to do, which is kind of a big bombing shot that you can do at enemy. And every boss, this seems to be, now's the section where you swing around and don't hit the floor, and then the next section is you've got to glob shot them, and they're not, and that's fine, but if you miss your glob shot, you've got to wait for that to do, and then you've got to swing around while you're waiting for the glob shot.
Can you stop saying the word glob shot, please?
Well, he talks about that a lot as well, and yeah, they use that to
I mean, the glob shot is a little old place where we can get together.
Yes.
Glob shot,
Now I know how you two feel when I say moist.
Yeah, but good. We've finally found a word that does it for Dan. I'm going to be saying glob shot every show for the rest of the year now. Great.
Glob shot. Actually, no, I'm kind of quite getting into it now. Moist.
But yeah,
glob
like,
shot.
but then I also, that was compounded by the fact that I got the second boss down to his last smidgen of health. And he's a boss that like digs into the floor, but he disappeared into the floor and never came back again. And I was like, I just can't be bothered to redo this. If I go back to the last checkpoint and it hasn't checkpointed partway through the boss, I'm not sure I can be bothered to replay this. And it didn't, and so I haven't.
Okay.
And it's a shame because I do enjoy the humour, and I don't know if the combat gets better as you go, Coleman, but I haven't enjoyed it up to now particularly.
Yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah.
I've got a wildly different take on it then, because I loved High on Life.
All right.
I thought it was a really good game, especially, and I will admit, if I had spent, what's the price on it, 50, 60 pounds for the regular version? If I had spent that, I'd be very let down by the game. But for the price of being on Game Pass, it's very well worth it. I would put this as like a 15, 20 pound game is a better price to be paying, because it is quite short for what it is, because it's a first person shooter, but it's very heavily in the story because of the whole talking weapons and stuff and Rick and Morty type humor. It's something that I really enjoyed. The kind of the gameplay itself is first-person shooter. You've got different characters as guns. One's a pistol, one's a shotgun, one's one of those needlers from Halo, and one's kind of like a remote grenade launcher, which is his babies that he fires out, and they crawl into spaces and do puzzles and stuff. And he seems very okay with you just absolutely destroying his babies. It's like, hey,
good.
Those are my children. They live for about 30 seconds and die. I'm okay with this. You know, that kind of sense of humor. And you have a knife that has, as we've seen in the previous, has an Australian accent, doubles as a swing for some reason, and loves stabbing people. And every time you beat a boss, he's there going, no, let me stab him. Come on, let me put me in his belly. And it's very funny. I really enjoyed the game. It was very funny. It played well. I didn't get bored playing it at all. That was the only thing I was playing until it was done, basically. And I enjoyed my time with it. If I see it for cheap on Steam, I will get it again so I can play it on Steam.
Double
Steam
dip.
Deck.
You massive dick.
Yeah, and I want to go back to it at some point, because with the overall credits, it looks like an easy one to 100%. So I'd like to go back in and do the 100% at some point as well.
I did like the fact that the collectibles were a take on the Garbage Pail Kids, basically. I don't know if you're too young to remember.
There's different types of. There's different kinds of collectible cards, and one set of the cards are Garbage Pail Kid type cards, which was funny. There's lots of little things like that to find and to laugh at. But one thing in particular I thought was really interesting is because this is the whole point of the game is there's an alien invasion and on Earth, and your house gets taken away and you end up on a different planet, and that planet ends up being your base of operations, and there's an alien sat on your sofa just watching TV, and sometimes it's cycling through little things like it's basically interdimensional television from Rick and Morty, just different ad-lib stuff that have been animated in different styles, which I've been seeing a lot of them pop up on like artist profiles and things lately. And but other times there are just straight up movies that they have licensed to put in the games. So when I think the first day I played it for about 3 hours, and then realized I'd spent 45 minutes watching Tammy and the T-Rex and needed to stop watching it.
I was like, I need to stop watching this film. I've been watching it for like 30 minutes, and it's a terrible film.
I really like that. It's very young Denise Richards and Paul Walker.
Yeah, that was really odd. It was like, oh, okay, this is definitely a real film that was made some time ago then.
It's just really funny because like the first 20 minutes of that film, it's done like a little teen romantic comedy and high school coming of age type thing. Then all of a sudden it goes to a lab and there's a scientist working on a T-Rex. What the hell
just
is this
out
film?
of nowhere.
Yeah. So there's I think there's 4 different films that are licensed in there.
Really?
I had to. I stopped and started watching Blood Harvest because I used to watch that film when I was a teenager. I don't know if you're aware of the singer Tiny Tim, but he's like the main villain in that film as a murderous clown who sings in the Tiny Tim kind of way. But yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, High on Life, I really enjoyed it, and I really like the characters and the voice actors playing all the guns and stuff. Like JB Smoove plays a shotgun. That's amazing.
Nice.
See, I haven't got to the shotgun yet.
Yeah,
but
really good game. Yeah.
Don't know if I should.
Yeah, well,
persevere.
I mean, I think it's fair to say. I mean, it sounds like there's kind of opinions been quite divided in a lot of the review sites as well. It seems to be either reviewing awesomely or reviewing very poorly. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's kind of one of those things where I don't think I would, by the looks of it, I will probably check it out at some point,
Yeah.
but for no other reason that's on Game Pass. But I don't think there's enough for it really to justify a standalone purchase. You know, if it didn't have kind of the comedic chops that it does, would it still be a good game? And why is it a game as opposed to a miniseries, for example? You know, I'm not sure it really knows what it wants to be, and maybe it's trying a bit too hard at both.
I think I personally would enjoy it more if it didn't have any gameplay. If I was just watching it, but if you
Just
like
watch
the
Rick and
humor,
Morty then.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
But that's the thing. But if you like the humor, it's worth having a look at. And if you get on with the combat, then you don't have a problem. But I had a bit of a problem. I found it a bit dull. I don't know if that was just I had other games I'd rather be playing though, kind of thing.
Maybe. I think you'll like it, Dan. I don't know if you'll necessarily sit there and play it to the end, but if you play it on Game Pass on your nice shiny Series X, I think you could sit there and get a couple of hours enjoyment out of that, I reckon.
Alrighty. All right. Well, once I finish playing all the other bits that I've got to play, well, I haven't got to play. Where's Tim?
You have to play them, Dan. Have to.
I have to play them. You have nothing but organised fun is what it's going to be. But it will be, it will be good to give that a look.
Yeah. And again,
At
it's
some point.
very divisive reviews, and that's good because not everyone has the same tastes. So if you know,
And that's okay.
yeah,
Different
that's why we have
strokes for different
opinions.
folks.
Yes.
Shall we give our opinions on the Forspoken demo? As that seems to be the last thing on the list.
Yep.
And it seems like something that we could quickly do.
Do you think?
Oh,
I mean, it wasn't
I
the
kind of
longest
want to
demo, I
change
guess,
one
but-
of the. No, I kind of want to change one of my choices
You
for things
can't.
I'm
You're
looking
locked in.
forward to. Wow.
Or I'm going to go through previous episodes and just take all the ones that were cancelled and change them out for something else.
Wow. Oh man.
The curse is over.
Well. I mean, the thing is, I think they've probably. From my understanding, this is a demo that was previously, I think it was on the Tokyo Game Show floor, so probably
Pick it
is
up then.
designed in a certain way
Someone might tread on it.
thanks, Coleman, to show certain things in as short a time as possible.
You should have gone.
However,
but anyway,
my
Ah!
I kind of just got the feeling that it was a very poor pastiche of a lot of tropes from a lot of games like Devil May Cry, but not done particularly well. The visual styling of some of it was awful. Tim, you'll be pleased to know the menus annoyed me. And frankly, some of the dialogue made me want to cry. It was so bad. From what I've experienced so far, there isn't enough good action game in there that I've been able to experience. It might be that the demo doesn't do a great job of introducing the parkour and the way you string abilities together, but my God, I was underwhelmed by that demo.
I've seen a lot of people seem to be. I wasn't as down on it as you. There's some things about it I really liked, and I didn't actually hate the menus. I thought the styling of the menus
liked
was
it when I closed it.
interesting and okay.
Really? I thought it was like some kind of horrible 1990s throwback to menu design.
No, I thought it was
Just
alright.
made me sad. Maybe I was just in a grumpy mood that day.
possibly.
It was in a
But
grumpy mood.
But I do think
You're old.
right there's some stuff I like and there's some stuff I didn't like. I don't know how well that demo showed off the combat, and like you say, I'm a bit wary about it. I liked some of the way the magic worked and the way you could switch between different magic spells. And the fact that I liked the fact that it kind of informed this person is vulnerable to that and that person isn't. But I also I got fed up of that. Like the word vulnerable like appeared on the screen like 100 times when you're battling like a small group of enemies. And it's like, I don't need to know that. Tell me it once and then don't tell me it again, maybe, or let me work it out for myself. Like there was a bit too much like wording information like coming up from people to the point where I ignored the characters and the numbers coming off them that you would normally be looking at in combat and just looked at the wording almost kind of thing. I found that a bit too distracting.
The other thing I think was weird about, we're talking about vulnerable, because there are some enemies who have kind of elemental affinities, basically. So in the demo, you have like you have fire and then purple magic. I'm not quite sure what element purple magic's meant to be, but fire.
That's purple stuff, which you have instead of Sunny D.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for clearing that up,
You're
mate.
welcome.
Much appreciated.
Good advert, Coleman.
I assumed just blended Barney the dinosaur juice or something. I don't know.
Maybe it's Vimto, which is an anagram
there's two
of
different
vomit.
types of magic. There's one that's your own magic, I believe, and one that's someone else's magic or something. I can't remember the actual distinction.
Yeah,
between the two,
maybe.
Someone else's
But the
magic.
flamey fiery one was like, I thought was really odd because there's one big boss enemy you play. I think it's the extended, like kind of the stretch goal it gives you after you've done the 5 objectives.
The big crocodile one.
Who were coloured in such a way that made you think, they probably use fire attacks, therefore they're likely to be resistant to fire,
to purple.
so I won't use fire. Yeah, exactly. But it turns out it's the other way around. It was a really weird bit of kind of visual design messaging, which I thought was a bit, and it just made me a bit concerned about some of the directions or what design of the game that we're eventually.
The bigger problem I had with that is that was a larger version of some of the like crocodile type enemies that you encountered in other parts of the demo. But I was like, I wonder if I can do the same thing on the boss that I did on the smaller ones, which was just go up alongside them, nowhere near their mouth or their tail, stand up alongside them and just hit them until they're dead. And yes, you can do that with the boss because they've got no way of like rapidly turning and hitting you. So you can just literally stand there and spam like one of your fiery sword attack things. And even though that's not supposed to kill him, you can still kill him with that reasonably quickly. And it was like, oh, okay.
The classic Hibs move of being betwixt the gob and the taint. Well done.
There's also
Tim.
like some odd things just from the world design, and I think this suffered from being the fantasy game that I played after playing Elden Ring, like a fantasy open world setting. Where Elden Ring has really nailed its open world design and how like it's all structured and layered upon each other, whereas this felt a bit sparse and empty and also lacking in logic. Like this was just a small thing, but it really bothered me like to the point where I was like, why is this like this? Like there was a bridge that goes across the water, and in the middle of the bridge, there is a treasure chest, and I'm like, this is not a practical place to place a treasure chest. This is an impractical place. This makes the whole bridge unusable.
Do you hear that, game designers?
It's not good.
Fix it.
But
in future games, Tim wants to see evidence of planning permission for any structures that you deign to put in your game.
Otherwise, people can't get across the bridge.
Looks like a greenbelt area. No one would have ever put a skyscraper there.
But also, I just found the treasure chest like really uninspiring. Like they didn't feel like a good thing to open. And I think again, being directly comparable with Elden Ring, one of the things in that is, okay, you get a bit more like feedback from opening it, but you also have the threat of this treasure chest could transport me to another place in the world at any point in time because you have booby trap treasure chests. And it just felt like there was one, I don't know if you came across it, but there was one treasure chest somewhere in the world where it had
I did come across the booby trap.
A sliding puzzle one where you actually had to like move like tiles around to get into the treasure chest. That was way more interesting than just the general ones that were lying around. But I also thought that fed into my dislike of the world design in general. It just felt very disjointed, very like kind of thrown together. Also, graphically, I thought it didn't look anywhere near as impressive as we saw it in preview. Some of the like fire effects and magic effects and stuff, and the water effects particularly looked particularly good. I don't think we had any water powers in this. I saw a later video where there was water powers, and there was also a different thing which we didn't have in Traversal, where you were on like a mystical surfboard, for want of a better thing, or magical surfboard. And that looked like it might speed up.
Surfboard.
That might look like it might speed up some of the stuff, because the parkour I found a bit odd as well. No, like it looked okay.
I found it inconsistent.
Yeah, but also I didn't like having
It didn't
to
do
hold
what I was
down
expecting it to do
a
half the
button
time.
for doing it,
'cause it's
and it
magic
didn't do what
parkour.
you thought it would do, and all that sort of stuff.
Markle.
Parkour, mate. It wasn't magic parkour. It was parkour. I thought, but the impression I got from like the videos and like what it told you is like basically you hold down circle and you can run up everything. And instead, it was like, all
Except
right,
for
you
that.
can run up to a. Except for all of the scenery that's in the game that we're going to show you. So you can run over a rock without tripping over, but that's parkour. But again, it might be what the bits they've decided to show off were.
And I don't know how much that develops. As I said, there does seem to be other powers for that as you go, and hopefully that gets better. But I hope it's not one of those things where 20 to 30 hours in the game, the parkour feels good kind of thing, because you've locked a load of upgrades. And it's like, yeah, but I've had to put up with 20 or 30 hours of it not being good kind of thing. I don't know. It definitely made my mind up that I am not buying this game at launch, but I still might be interested in playing it at some point, whether it comes to Game Pass or, another equivalent, or whether I just pick it up on the cheap. I still might be interested, but...
Well, it won't be on Game Pass, because I think it's a PlayStation exclusive, isn't it?
It's a PlayStation exclusive.
That's true. But, on some form of PlayStation thing.
PlayStation Plus, Tim.
PlayStation Plusing or
just
something.
to play Devil's Avocado.
Devil's Avocado.
Right.
I don't totally hate this. I think...
What? Get out.
Yeah, and I know everyone's moaning about it, but I think...
We're not moaning about it.
No,
We're
I just
making
mean
perfectly
in
valid
general on
criticism.
the internet.
Yeah.
When it came out...
Bloody Prince Harry,
Well, no,
shut
what
up.
I'm talking about is when we were talking about the demo on the, something we were looking forward to playing, because we hadn't played it yet when we were doing the previous shows.
Yeah.
We were looking forward to it, but that at the same time, people had played it online and all through Twitter. It was just, this game's bollocks, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
I didn't know Boris Johnson reviewed it.
Yeah, he loves it. Well, no, he hates it.
Magical surf.
Little mumbo jumbo bollocks.
Anyway, my big takeaway was I think the game looks great. I am interested in it. I didn't mind the voice acting in it or any of those kind of problems.
It was terrible.
What I found a problem with was the demo itself. I think that they put way too much abilities and things. I think they've just thrown way too much at you to begin with. And I think in a more natural progression of playing the game through and unlocking things along the way, this game will be easier to kind of get your head around. So I think I am going to go pick this up because I am interested in it. However, I will say, same thing as I got the impression from looking at the trailer beforehand, now actually playing it as on the demo, this does reek of this should have been a launch title. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I think that part of the problem is if it was a kind of like essentially an enemy rush or a boss rush game where I didn't have to tolerate the dialogue, from what I've seen so far, it'd probably be okay. But their idea of gritty dialogue is just throwing the F word every 3 words.
They do swear.
There we go,
but that's
adult
what you
storyline. I've been a lot better with it. I sometimes say now as well.
But
got to be careful now. YouTube's on the crackdown.
It was like they were swearing because
they're putting what down their crack?
It felt like they were like swearing, like they just discovered swearing, or their parents had gone out and they were showing off a bit, kind of thing. But my problem with the actual voice acting and stuff, it does something I hate in games, like the band. You got a magical band that's wrapped around your arm that's talking to you and giving you feedback and stuff like that. But they did one of these things
and he engages in some banter,
yeah, possible.
Banter. Bringing the dad jokes is what I'm doing today.
You need to goat that, please, because Coleman won't be able to get there in time with the drum roll. So, rim shot. But yeah, yeah.
I don't like this new soundboard.
But no, it does this thing. I don't like when it does this in games generally, and I think it didn't help itself in doing it. But it was basically like the band's basically saying, "This is uninteresting combat. These enemies aren't really presenting a challenge, and all that type of stuff." And you're like,
Exactly. Well, aren't you an idiot?
Well, you made the game, mate. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like how. Yeah, exactly. It's
Very
kind
talented
of
band.
well. Haven't you done well finding your ass with both hands this morning? You know, it's
I did.
Did you? Well done, Coleman.
Yeah.
As I said, I'm not.
Very
I
talented.
think we had the three flavors of reaction to this game, though. Dan really doesn't seem to like it very much, and considering you were looking forward to it the most out of the three of us to pick it on,
I know. That's why I'm so
thing.
upset.
That's quite funny. I'm in the middle, and Coleman seems more positive. So yeah, it does seem like it got a
I'm
range of
optimistic.
reactions, basically. Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see. But that's out. Not long.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's my other problem is
That's
it comes
end of
out a
month,
bit
isn't
too
it?
close to me spending a lot of money on a VR helmet. So, I'll probably be spending my money on
You
VR
helmet.
games.
Fair enough.
enough.
The only problem I have is it comes out very close to Dead Space.
Oh yes,
and that looks
which especially on PC, looks super sexy.
Super sexy drive.
I do want to get involved in that game. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
I need to finish Callisto Protocol.
Anyway.
But yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, I reckon Callisto Protocol
Yes.
will be coming to Game Pass or PlayStation Plus or something the month that Dead Space comes out.
Yeah. Right.
Those are all the games we played.
How did that take so?
I mean, there
bloody long?
isn't. I've got like 3 other games I played, but I'm going to save them because I forgot to put
Yes.
them on the agenda.
Fair enough. So I suppose really we ought to start wrapping things up. Obviously, we're very happy that you downloaded us, but we'd be even happier if you checked out our mighty fine friends over at tpublic.com, specifically tpublic.com/stores/BRB, where you can get sweet merch with my face on it. And there are other things you can get there as well, but you should get things with my face on it.
Because other things don't have Dan's face on it. That's just
Exactly,
not
which
acceptable.
makes the things with my face on it the best thing.
Good.
There we go. So go buy my face.
But what if I don't want products?
I have nothing more to add.
What if I don't want products with faces on them, and instead I want to play board games in a environment that serves alcohol and
Only
food?
on a Tuesday, though.
Only on Tuesday. Well, you can
Never
go there
on a
any day of the
Wednesday.
week. But Tuesday is
Go
just
where?
the best day to go there.
Where?
The loading bar in
Right.
Stoke,
Go
Newington.
where?
And before I forget to
Whoa.
mention
Oh,
it,
there.
we had someone come and join us this week who has been a long-term listener of the show, going all the way back to Sarcastic Gamer days. I didn't get permission to say his
Wow.
actual name, so I will do his online handle that he used to be known by, which was Toadster, if you remember that, Dan, going back all the way. He used to
Oh, I remember Toadstool.
leave,
Oh,
he used to leave
holy
reviews and change his
Wow.
review every week. He said mainly to annoy you. I'm not sure it annoyed you that much. I think you were quite pleased with it.
No, I quite enjoyed
yeah,
it.
Exactly. But yeah, like he's actually lives quite close to Loading Bar now, so he wasn't the biggest board gamer, but he said he wants to come along and play board games with us and
Coleman's
learn
got a
some
question.
games.
Yeah. Is it Toadster or the Toaster? Because I remember I used to have a little.
I thought it was the.
I had a rivalry
was
with the
the
Toaster on
Toaster.
iTunes. We used to change our reviews every week.
I thought it was Toadster. I may have heard him wrong. Could be. I wasn't entirely sure.
I think you did.
It was on my handle.
I
Didn't
think
get
it was
permission
the
to say his
Toaster.
real name, but we
Maybe he
wouldn't
had a
know.
cold.
It might be Toaster. I could be wrong on that.
Or a
one.
massive tongue.
But
He's
yeah,
got a
anyway,
really big tongue.
It was absolutely
Hello,
lovely to meet him.
I'm the
As I
Papa.
said, he's been listening for years, and
Big tongue.
and did
Lovely
lots
bloke.
of reviews. Came
Always
on.
got a very beautiful girlfriend for some reason.
Oh, okay. And
tongue.
yeah, like generally, it was just nice to meet a long-term fan. He did specify that he doesn't listen to as many gaming podcasts as he used to, but he still dips in and out of the show every now and again and listens to us every now and again. I said he has to listen to this week because I'll be mentioning him. But yeah, it's just nice to
I'll be getting his name wrong
Yeah, well-
on a podcast.
well, yes, possibly. I'll have to check with him next week to see if that's actually the case. But yeah, he says he's going to come along
So
to
that's 2 episodes we've got an extra listener for.
did say he's going to come along to more Tabletop Tuesdays in the future now that he lives quite close and can do so easily. So that was just a really nice surprise. Wasn't expecting that. We had the first Tabletop Tuesday back for last week, and we have another one coming up this week. If anyone doesn't know, each and every Tuesday, we do an event called Tabletop Tuesday where we have a different feature game, a board game or a card game most usually. And if you play that feature game that evening, you have a chance of winning a copy of the game at the end of the evening. We'll have more details of this week's game on the top left-hand corner of bigredbarrel.com, or you can search Tabletop Tuesdays on meetup.com, where we have over 2,000 members, and you can join the members there and get more details there. Details on both sites. I usually post a video on bigredbarrel.com. It's not so easy to post videos on Meetup, but there tends to be a video that helps teach you the game of the week so that you can learn it a bit before you come along. It's been nice to get the ball rolling again in 2023. I think we've been doing, I'm not sure, I think it'll be the 10-year anniversary at some time this year of us doing Tabletop Tuesday. So, yeah. And Toadster or Toaster, whichever one it was, did say he's been listening to us for over 10 years, which was quite scary. But as I said, come along to Tabletop Tuesday and you can win a game just by playing it on the evening.
Well, assuming we're averaging one a week, now they're on episode 525, and that's just of this incarnation of the show. That does mean we've put out episodes for over 10 years now.
Yes.
Just
have we done 10 years of Big Red Barrel?
We've never had a review from anyone called the Toadster Toadster, but we have had the Toaster
then.
From.
Sorry, let's limit it to
last
Toaster.
review was April 2014 was the last review for the 100th episode.
Ooh, blimey, was that long ago? Christ.
Which means he's probably never listened to me.
He'd be like, that John Brady sounds different, doesn't he?
Okay. I don't know.
He sorted his accent out. I can understand what he's saying now.
I grew up
His Tim can't understand what I'm saying.
Here on my head.
He's had a slightly suspect beard for a while, to be honest with you, Brady.
I write for newspapers because I'm a journalist. And I've got a book.
Have you read my book?
Have you looked at me lap times on Gran Turismo 7?
They're absolutely...
I'm fast in my car. If you have enjoyed this show, then you've got weird old taste, but you can show us support by going over to the podcast listening device and platform of your choice and leaving us a review, but also you can get all the kind of information on the show and ways of getting in contact with us. You can find us on bigredbarrel.com. We've got a link there for our Discord. We have a Facebook at Big Red Barrel, and we have a Twitter at Big Red Barrel, and we have a YouTube, Big Red Barrel TV. Leave us a comment on any one of those. In the Discord, we do have a special little section for BRB UK stuff, where we love to have our little conversations about the games we have been playing with the listeners as well. I'd like to know what you're playing, especially if you've been playing WoW expansion quite a lot, because I miss those days. Thank you, Dan. That got me off a weird tangent. So, a couple of people have given us questions. Thank you. Richard Kirk, he put this one in just as we were doing the special episode, so we haven't been able to answer this, but he said, I have a Christmas question. Which would be the best/worst games for Santa to be a playable character? What would his signature weapon/equipment/special move be? I would like to see Santa in Mortal Kombat.
Damn it, that's what I was going to go for.
And he could have like a sharpened candy cane to stab people up with, and then his fatality, like he could put people in his big sack. And horrible things will happen in Santa's big sack.
Release the elves.
Wow.
And he could sick like an army of elves on you and stuff. That'd be cool.
Wow, I was going to go for that. I wasn't going to be quite so creative with his fatality.
Yeah.
He was well, actually no, what his fatality for me was going to be, he looks on his naughty and nice list and finds your name on the naughty list and then eviscerates you using mind bullets.
The worst thing to put him in would be Civilization. What are you doing in Civilization, Santa? You're not a world leader.
I mean, he's maybe he's the leader of the North Pole. Maybe.
I'm in the DLC with Liz
Did
Truss.
I imagine it? Is he in Microsoft Flight Simulator?
Maybe. That sounds like a thing that would happen.
Yeah, I seem to remember that
is.
being. I was going to say that as a suggestion, but then I thought, hang on, is he actually in that? But yeah, but maybe, yeah. some sort of flying game or a driving game. Gran Turismo 7. That'd be a bad... Like, driving a sleigh round corners would be difficult.
Mr. Blobby in a stealth action game. That's what I'd like to see.
That's cool, but it's not Santa, is it?
It's not Santa related.
No, it's not Santa, but...
They're both jolly fat people.
I would like to see Mr. Blobby in Splinter Cell, just trying to sneak around stealthily.
Okay, I want to see that now.
I can't see anything about
or Hitman or something like that. Blobby, blobby, blobby.
Okay, well, if he's not in there already, that's my answer then. Santa in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh, there we go.
I used to have an Amiga game. I used to have an Amiga game called Psycho Santa, where you used to have to fight the ghost of Christmas past. It's pretty cool. Probably aged really bad. It was like a free game that came with a magazine, Amiga Power, I reckon.
Oh,
right. So also on the verges of dated questions we need to get through, Ed has asked us, what are your New Year's gaming resolutions? What games and series will you try out this year that you wouldn't have before? It's hard to tell because I tried.
I don't make New Year's resolutions because it's a terrible time of year to give things up. But hey.
Do you know what I do with New Year's resolutions? I may have said this last year. I think
these are gaming resolutions, though.
Oh, yeah. I can't just make up stuff that I can't say things I will never do that I've never done.
Yeah.
8K. That's my New Year's gaming resolution.
You did that joke last year, Tim. You always do that sodding resolution joke.
Wow.
As bad as Dan with repeating jokes.
I mean, you're
know
right.
What my New Year's resolution is? I'm going to get myself an Xbox Series X.
Ooh.
Hey.
Yeah. I don't know about games that I've never tried that I will try because, yeah, I kind of try anything to talk about on the show. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try another Battle Royale of some kind. I've never really gotten into those.
I don't recommend it. Unless it's a wrestling Battle Royale.
No, I tried that. It wasn't good.
Oh, yeah. No, don't do that then.
Yeah. Rumbleverse.
No, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What about you guys?
I don't know. Maybe I should give... Maybe I should give
High on Life
VR a bit more of a go. Or,
yes.
You know, I kind of tried VR for a bit with the Quest, but it never quite grabbed me. Maybe it's because my man cave is too small.
No, it's because it's virtual. It can't grab you.
I think the announcement that there's going to be support for Gran Turismo 7 in VR, PSVR 2, that might turn your head a bit, Dan, because that's a game you already own and would be enhanced by the experience of playing in VR. They still didn't announce. They announced it at CES that that's coming, and then they announced the Gran Turismo film as well, which we haven't really talked about. But yeah, like.
I mean, what
really
the hell's that about?
Exactly how much support there is, but it did seem to indicate from the footage they showed that it would be more than we had in the previous version of the game, so you'd actually be able to have full races and stuff like that. So, yeah.
No, it's basically going to be the what was it called? Automotor? The thing from Forza where you just look round cars. Just going to be that, but VR.
Forza Vista.
Vista, that's the one.
Forza Vista.
Yeah. I thought about buying, after Christmas was done and dusted, I thought, do you know what? I might actually put in a pre-order for the PSVR because they extended the thing. And then I remembered it was 500 quid. No, I'm not spending that. Stop trying to make me. I already did it twice. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, but that's the other good thing. I mean, I predicted that Gran Turismo 7 would get support, but that's the other good thing about it is that it's a full game that I can get gameplay and time from with just buying the headset as well. So... yeah, I mean, it seems to be the season of completely ridiculously priced PlayStation peripherals because you've got the VR headset and then you got the
adaptive controller,
DualSense Edge thing, which costs some mind-bending sum of money.
Mm-hmm. Sony's like, well, you can just get a second job, nice. Dan. Like, you know.
Nah, I'm good, thanks, mate. I'm all right with that.
Did you see Sony's adaptive controller they unveiled?
Yes, that was the other thing unveiled at CES.
I can't quite work it out.
It makes me think of, because it's a circle. It makes me think of a Simon.
Yes.
I'm going to be hitting square, triangle, circle, square.
But they did say that you could combine that with an existing DualShock controller or have two of them active at once. So makes a bit more sense. DualSense.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, that's the same as the Xbox version, which I thought about buying one of those because you can. I think you can plug in a PlayStation controller into their adaptive controller. I was thinking,
Oh, really?
there's a way to bypass and actually use the DualSense
dog.
on the Xbox controller because I like the DualSense. Hey ho, that's a thing. Right, are we all satisfied with our answers?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. Why not?
Yeah.
I wouldn't upgrade me beyond ambivalent, but sure, why not?
I'll quickly throw out. Kev put something in the chat as well. He said,
Yes.
does anyone want to get involved in the Fantasy Critic games this year?
On it.
Yeah. So there is a link.
What is
I'm going to
this?
put a link in the show notes. This is basically fantasy football for games critics.
Ooh. What? So you predict you get a lineup of games and then see what Metacritic score they get or something?
I remember them. Yeah, I remember there was a thing where like Kinda Funny and IGN and GameSpot, all these different sites were all playing this one year against each other in teams. So apparently we do have a big Red Barrel team. I need to sign up to it myself and have a look at this properly. But
Do we? Do we have a big red barrel team?
yeah, Kev set it up.
Did he?
Good old Kev.
Pretty sure. More details in the Discord and in the show notes, along with all the chapters and links and things that we usually put in the show notes for you. Like Tabletop Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a fake goat. That's it.
That was a cue, Dan. That was a cue.
Hey, there is a blood. Kev has done it.
I know!
He told you. Like, are you
to listen.
calling Coleman a liar?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that does happen.
I'm following it. What I'm going to do. I'm getting in on it. Look at me. I'm getting in the action. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting terribly distracted. We should end the show. Thank you ever so much for Coleman's drinking again.
What?
What? We are going to end this show. So thank you for downloading once again. Go to all the links in the show notes. Do the things that Coleman says. Go do stuff on a Tuesday like Tim said. And we'll be back next week with another episode of this here show. So thank you once again. All that's really left is for me to remind you that I have been Dan.
I might have been Tim.
My New Year's resolution.
Resolution? Oh.
A big chaos.
That's not a real New
Chaotic
Year
resolution.
resolution because that's what you were doing last year.
Chaos wouldn't have a New Year's resolution.
Well, I think at some point I
don't
said I
have
was
a
going
New
to
Year's
stop this
resolution.
year. But my resolution is to keep it going until people get annoyed that aren't you two. You two always annoy me.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to go. Thank you for listening. And until next time, dear listeners, toodle bum.
You and your ears are quite welcome.
For the podcasting goodness that you just heard.
Why not roll on over
To BigRedBarrel.com.
for more podcasts?
News, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet. BigRedBarrel.com.
There you go. There's Tim's win.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Rejoice.
I'd like to thank everyone that made this possible for me to have this
No,
week
shut up.
today.
Tim, shut up.
I'd like to thank Corey Barlog and